Linda Blair just reminded the world that she's far more than the girl who shocked audiences in The Exorcist. Because while most people instantly picture spinning heads and chilling horror when they hear her name, what really leaves fans speechless are the bold, daring, and unforgettable photos she's taken outside of her movie career. The kind that make you want to close the door before looking, because they carry a level of confidence and allure that can catch anyone off guard. And that's exactly why people still can't stop talking about her decades later. Because Linda didn't let herself get trapped in the shadow of her horror role. She leaned into fame with a mix of charm, attitude, and fearless glamour that made her more than just an actress. She became an icon in her own right. And those pictures, whether from magazine spreads, red carpets, or stylized photo shoots, showed a side of her that was captivating, sensual, and unexpected. With daring looks from the 70s and 80s where she embraced her figure, bold makeup, and fashion that pushed the envelope for her era, proving she wasn't afraid to redefine her image over and over. And what makes those moments unforgettable isn't just how striking she looked, but how unapologetic she was about it. Because she wasn't standing there simply to be photographed. She was making a statement, telling the world she could be both the actress who terrified millions and the woman who turned heads with glamour and sensuality. And that duality is what made her magnetic. Because every shot carried layers, part actress, part rebel, part star who knew how to command attention without saying a single word. And fans loved it because it felt real, raw, and unfiltered. At a time when Hollywood tried to box women into neat little categories, Linda refused to shrink herself into one role. Instead, she played with her image, experimenting with styles and photos that let her audience see her complexity. And even today, looking back, those pictures still carry power. They still make people do a double take, and maybe even blush a little, because they remind us that she was never just a horror star. She was a woman fully embracing herself and inviting the world to see her in new ways. And that's what makes her stand apart from so many others who faded into the background after their breakout roles. Because Linda Blair never faded, she evolved, turning her fame into a platform to express every side of herself. And the truth is, those photos became more than just pretty images. They were proof of her boldness, proof of her willingness to challenge expectations, proof that she wasn't afraid to take risks. And even as the years passed, that confidence never left her. Because whether it was the striking shoots in her early days or the red carpet moments later in her career, Linda always carried herself with an energy that pulled people in. And that's why fans today still say you should probably be alone before looking at those pics. Not because they're scandalous in a cheap way, but because they're captivating in a way that takes your breath away. They're bold, glamorous, unforgettable, and full of the confidence of a woman who knew exactly who she was. So Linda Blair didn't just scare audiences, she stunned them, showing the world she could leave people gasping in more ways than one.